your employer is going to only be able to keep you working for them for only so long. They can, at some point, they're going to have to make a decision. Will we keep somebody on board who is a pay to everybody else, or so it's not, you're not going to advance in your career if you don't know how to manage relationships with people. Justin Maxwell said, one is too small a number to achieve greatness. And is too small a number to achieve greatness. You can't do anything great in life on your own. When people say that thing self-made, they're not saying the truth. Nobody is self-made. If there's nobody that is self-made, it's not true. At different stages of our lives, we work with people. Yes, you took the initiative, you made sacrifices, you did things, but nobody does anything completely on their own. That's not this thing. It's like the popular quote we learned while growing up. No man is an island. Nobody. You need help at different stages. No matter how skillful a person is, you can be skillful in one area, but not in all the areas. And even if you're skillful in every area, you only have so much time and energy. You cannot be doing everything at the same time. So it's not possible. So soft skills are the skills that help us in our relationships with people. And according to LinkedIn, soft skills training is the number one priority for learning and development leaders at companies across industries. So in HR, especially in big organizations, you have a learning and development curriculum or plan for your staff. Learning and development is because organizations appreciate the fact that they have to keep making sure that their staff are updated, get recent knowledge, and they're growing in their skills and ability and training. They have to provide training for their staff. They know that. And so learning and development is the arm of HR that manages that. So the learning and development leaders across the world are saying that soft skills training is the number one priority. And why is it the number one priority? Because hard skills, technical skills have their place, but soft skills are really, really important. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's important I mention it even here, because as you progress in your career, you start with your technical skills. You're doing a lot of technical things, and you don't need as much soft skills, for instance. But in order to progress into management, which in itself is leadership, you need to have those soft skills. You need to be really good you have to be really good with those soft skills to become a leader. I mean, for all of us, you can think about your leaders right now, in whatever organization you are in, and you'll find out that even if it's let's use, for example, okay, I'll use this example. Somebody was teaching one day, and they gave the example of this. I think he was a mechanical engineer that used to fix airplanes, and he was very good. Mechanical engineer, you call them that. He was a mechanic for airplanes, and so he was really good, and he really enjoyed fixing planes. And so he was very hands-on and everything. But he had spent so much time with the company, and he knew so much about the company and so much about his job, and so his leaders management chose to promote him, to a managerial level. But what happened when they promoted him was he did not have managerial skills. He was so tied to his technical ability that even as a manager, the kinds of responsibilities like delegation, leadership, communication, being able to inspire the team to work together and all those things. He wasn't good at that. He was just a technical guy. So even though they had promoted him to the position of manager, he was not able to he wasn't able to meet the demands of that position. In fact, the person was saying, the story said that it was so bad that even though he was the manager, when he comes to supervise the junior technicians and they're doing something bad, no, and he'll just roll his sleeves, wear his overall, and go under the plane and start fixing it. But as a leader, he wasn't promoted to the position of manager to be doing that. Yes, he knows how to do it, but at that position, he was now given a position to be able to guide and coach and mentor and train. Those things are not Coaching, training, mentorship. Those are soft skills. Communication, delegation, you being able to lead, to inspire your team to achieve their goals. Those things are soft skills. You can take them anywhere. We use them everywhere. We use them in church, we use them at home, we use them in no matter what organization you work for, you're going to be dealing with people, and those skills are important. So, after he did that for a while, management got together and said, you know what, this man cannot remain as a manager. He's not ready. Let's just leave. I think they ended up maybe even like firing him at the end of the day because it wasn't going to make sense for them to demote him to technical position after they had promoted him. So that's how he lost out. So today we're talking about soft skills and using them to gain a competitive advantage in our personal and professional life. Soft skills are very, very important. Like they are very, very important. Last week I talked about the hard skills. So I focused more on the skills that are in hot demand right now. And I said that regardless of what you're studying in school, whether you're a first degree, master's degree, a PhD, that you should take the time to do a search on just research the industry that you're being trained for right now in school and find out is this in the what's going to be happening in this industry in 5 years, in 10 years, And when you read the dates, when you come across research, pay attention to see is this field I'm in right now, is it expanding? Are there going to be opportunities in this field growing, or is this field declining? Is this profession in decline? And be honest, just be objective. There's nothing. The truth of the matter is that even if you're being trained for to work in an industry that is declining, your knowledge and your skills are not a waste. So, and even though we say an industry is in decline, some people are still working there and making good bucks. So it's just that the opportunities there are not so many, and so you may not have so many people who have the degrees and the qualifications to get to work in those industries, but the opportunities there are few. So not a good number can even get jobs there. Yeah, but so last week I talked about the hard skills, and so today our focus is on the soft skills. Yeah. So important soft skills needed in the 21st century workplace. You can find longer lists online, but these are like some of the most important, and I will just go through them. So empathy, critical thinking, problem solving attitude, effective communication, creativity, digital literacy, negotiation, networking. So you see that these are things that you will use in any industry. Empathy is about caring, kindness, sensitivity to other people, being able to put yourself in other people's shoes and not think of others too. Put yourself in other people's shoes, not be selfish and self-centered and only be thinking about how things affect you, how you feel, what you want. You're also thinking in terms of how does this affect my teammate? How does this affect my co-worker? How does this affect the customer? How does this affect other people? Empathy, to be able to do not be thinking of just yourself, to be sensitive to the needs of other people. That's a good quality to have. I mean, I don't know anybody who likes to be around self-centered people. I don't know of anybody, because just somebody who's just, they don't think about anybody else. It's just them. They come to work and they want to play the music loud, and it doesn't matter that you're not supposed to play music in the first place, and then you play it and you just want to play it loud and they don't care, or you're just doing funny things, and when they ask you, say, oh, that's how I am. What's that? That's how you are, but what you're doing is negatively impacting on the people that you're working with. Maybe you're fond of doing, so maybe you're fond of chewing gum and you chew your bubble gum and you're always making noise, and then someone's like, oh, please, can you? I was like, oh no, I'm used to it. And like, that's just no, so empathy, that is, it's an important skill, and we can develop it. And I think that's the thing. Skills can be developed. I mean, soft skills are not as measurable as hard skills, but they are measurable, because I would say they're not as measurable, they are measurable. If two people deliver a lecture, you can tell who is the better communicator. You can tell. You may not be able to measure it in a glass, or measure it measure it on a scale or something, but you can tell, wow, this person there, he was just boring. I felt like sleeping. No, I really like the way he was teaching or how she was. So they are measurable to an extent. And so empathy, critical thinking, being able to look at the facts and read and understand and weigh and compare, not quick to jump into conclusions, not the kind of person that just hears one information and doesn't do any research, doesn't check, they're just sharing the news only for us to find out that it is fake news. And if you had just settled down to critically analyze the information you had been given, you would have seen the loopholes in it. But critical thinking is such an important skill. It is very, very important, especially in a world where there's so much information coming at us. So much information is coming at us outside the workplace, in the workplace. And it's so important for us to be able to critically think about the information we're getting, analyze it, look at it, weigh it, the pros, the cons, how it affects, what's the source, who is saying this, do they have a bias, could they have a hidden agenda, to really think about what the information that is coming to you, not just take everything and just swallow everything that comes your way. Yeah, so critical thinking, problem solving attitude. I mean, a lot of people will write our CVs, you're like, we're good at problem solving. But for some of us, we know that we worked in the workplace for some time, and we know that some people, they now have a job, but somehow they don't want to do the job. When a problem does come up, their facial expression will just change, or they'll just try to hide, try to just find a way around it and just let one person do all the work. That's not a good thing. And the truth is, if you have a good manager is paying attention, even if they're not saying anything, they're paying attention to the attitude of members of the team. And the truth is, every leader, well, a wise leader. Some leaders like what do we call this thing in Nigeria now? Eye service. Some people like it. Those of us are not ready to have results. Leaders, managers that want to have results in their businesses, in their teams, they want people who are willing to do the work. People who they can call at any time and say, you know what, this is the challenge we're having. What do you think we can do? And they're like, oh sir, I can do this. Oh man, yeah, okay, I'll do a research, but I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you in the morning. I'll get back to you by 4 p.m. I'll get back to you. That kind of attitude. That's what a leader who wants to get results wants. And when the time comes for them to recommend for a promotion, they're going to recommend the person who has that kind of an attitude. So today we're talking about personal and professional development. That's it. So you cannot be the person who is in the workplace or in your team. So whatever team your team in church or your team or whatever teams you're assigned to, or when you're in school and they're assigned to do group work, and you want to be part of the people that don't pull their weights. That, I'm telling you the truth, if you allow yourself to have any reason not to fully participate in doing the work that you have been assigned, you just shrink and allow other people to do it. You are building a habit. That is a habit you are forming, and yes, every time you do it, you're strengthening that bad habit. You will take it. You will keep doing it until you do it in a place where a decision maker will notice that I can't count on this person, and it will affect your appraisal. It will affect the likelihood that you'll be promoted. And we're talking about professional development. So we need to learn, to develop that problem-solving attitude, an attitude of, oh, okay, I don't know what the answer is, but I'll do my research and get back. Not I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Every time, oh no, I have no idea, and you're not saying, oh, I have no idea, but I'll check it out. I have no idea, but I have a friend who um, who works in this field, and I can get in touch and I'll get back to you. It's just I don't know. I have no idea. That's not a good attitude. Effective communication, so important. Effective communication here covers both verbal and written communication. And in verbal communication, it covers both interpersonal communication when you're communicating with people one-on-one, and public speaking. So those are skills that are so important. I mean, because of social media and everybody the majority of people have to be intentional about how they um, intentional about communicating what they know and who they are and what they've done is becoming increasingly important for you to get good at writing and speaking. It's become, I mean, right now I am teaching, and consciously and unconsciously, I am using certain communication techniques to make sure that you're following what I'm saying. It's intentional. So somebody can teach the same thing and will not have the same effect because there's a skill. So there's a skill, there's writing, getting intentionally learn to get better at writing. I mean, it took um, a few years into working for me to really appreciate why, like in Nigeria, I remember we were in secondary school, and then the science students would be like, I don't know why they're disturbing us about English. Why do they keep telling us that to get into university we need to have the C in English? I mean, I'm good in math, I'm good in further math, I'm good in this. Why do they need English? You know, people used to make that comment. You know, but now that I am an older person and I have been working, I now see how important it is for everybody to know how to write. Oh my God, some people cannot write a simple report. They do, you send an email and you can't. Okay, I know I'm sounding very stern right now, but it's painful. And you know, in getting, because I'm HR and I get some like, how, why? You know, and it just dawned on me why back then everybody was expected to have a C in English. We did composition, comprehension, oral English, and all those things that we did. I don't know where you school, but I school in Nigeria. Most of my education was in Nigeria, and then secondary school to university, secondary school we needed to do all of that. And looking back, I can now appreciate why. Now we're all in the workplace. It doesn't matter if you're a technical person, you are an engineer, you're going to send emails. At some point, you're going to write reports. At some point, yes, at some point, you're going to write reports, whether it's you go for field inspections or whatever, and your boss needs to get a report from you. You should be able to articulate your thoughts in a way that somebody who reads it will understand what you're saying. Unfortunately, there are people in the workplace that cannot do that. And if every time you send an email, every time you send a report, and someone else is reading it, they are forming an opinion about you. And so if you keep sending something and I see typos, your tenses are wrong, you don't put the effort to make sure it is in an orderly fashion. Maybe even the fonts are not the same throughout what you sent me. You are telling me something about yourself. And so, but whenever I have to give you an appraisal or it's time to promote someone, I'm going to consider that too. You know, so that this is for written communication. And then for verbal communication, interpersonal, being able to speak with people one-on-one, speak to people with kindness, be able to communicate your ideas talk to people in a kind manner, and then communicate the way that they understand you. You know, that is very important. And then public speaking, being able to address large groups of people. So I know, yeah, a lot of people have a fear for public speaking, but you can overcome it, and you should work towards overcoming it, because it will limit you in your life. It will limit you. It's not it can, it will limit you. Growth and success in your personal and professional life hinges on your ability to be able to influence people with your own ideas, to be able to win people over to your own way of thinking. You know, so it's got to be a limit. So you can't keep saying, oh, I'm not good at public speaking, I'm always scared. I'm always saying, oh yes, that's how you are right now, but you can learn to do better. You can learn to improve, and you need to, because it's a very, very vital skill. You know, so there's creativity, there's digital literacy, negotiating, networking. I mean, I can go on and on to explain all of these things, but we can always study about them, and we most likely have an idea about what these things are about. But I'll talk about networking. Networking is it has to do a lot with being able to cultivate relationships with people, to initiate and maintain relationships with people. I mean, one of the reasons why I am here right now talking to you is because I was able to forge a relationship with one of you that we've been able to maintain, even though we've never met in person. You know, so it takes And how did that relationship happen? I had this other friend, I'd written a book, I went to visit her, and we were talking. And it's a long, but the thing is, being good at making friends and influencing people, like Dale Carnegie will say, or Dale Carnegie said in his book. I mean, that's it. I'm being conscious about it. And now I know that some of us have a natural propensity to be good with people, and some of us don't. But you can get better, and you should desire to get better. I did not used to. I am naturally introverted. I mean, I grew up being able to speak. I used to debate competition, but naturally I keep to myself, read my book, pass my exam, go home, watch TV, read my book. That's me. So my interpersonal communication wasn't really good. And then as I kept being giving leadership position, giving leadership opportunities, it started to affect my ability to lead people, because somehow I was able to they were not feeling me. So they didn't feel like I cared. They didn't feel like because I didn't know how to, get to know people, and make them feel important and heard and understood. I did not know how to do it. But I did not say this is how I am. I went ahead and I learned how to do it. And so, I mean, Mr. Peter has been talking to me over, chatting with me on WhatsApp and sending me messages. There are some things I intentionally do when I'm chatting with people, just so that I can make them feel warm and be kind and be pleasant. My natural self, I can be pretty stern, that's natural, but you can unlearn those things. You can learn to be kind and pleasant and warm and hospitable. It's just the things that you can learn. Because if you keep saying, oh, this is how I am, this is how I am, if you are not good at relating with people, it's going to limit your personal and professional development. There's no way around it. I mean, I can use my current job as an example. I mean, when I started working, somehow I was just having all these misunderstandings in the office. I had to call myself to order. I said, it doesn't matter how good you are at your job. You have to learn how to manage your relationships with your colleagues. And I had to do certain things and learn to do things differently. And now I don't have, I know those days of unnecessary friction are things of it's a thing of the past. So you can and you should, because one is too small a number to achieve greatness. The opportunities that you need to move forward are going to come from people. They are going to come from people. So no man is an island. You cannot be just careless about the way you relate with people. You can learn to do better, and you should learn to do better. It's absolutely important that you listen. So why are soft skills important? I'm sure that as I have been talking and talking and talking, I have already alluded to the fact as to why soft skills are important. And I mean, when you study these things online, you find out that, take for instance, what example can I mean, customer service representatives. I mean, their job is really soft skills based. Is the ability to connect with people, to be kind, to be pleasant, to be attentive, to be empathetic. Those are when people are being interviewed for customer service roles, those are things that are somehow measured. But a good hiring manager will want to see evidence that this person is naturally like this, or is already already has these skills before they are hired, even though they're still going to do, a good organization will still do some form of training before they let them start to interact with their customers. But the rule of what do we call it now? Hiring, recruitment rule is that you want to hire somebody who is going to be a good fit for the organization, who is going to be a good fit for the role. And so a wise hiring manager is going to set up whether it's the test recruitment questions or the interview questions in such a way that you're able to see that this person I'm hiring, even though I'm still going to train them on how to speak with our customers and how to address them, I need to also check and say this person is naturally a kind, patient, empathetic, gentle person, personable, very easygoing. Because they're already naturally that way. When you train them, they will just get better as against somebody who is rigid and tough and quick-tempered, and you somehow, they are very intelligent, but then you now need them to, and they can know about all things about your company and all the features of the product, but if they are impatient and you now want to put them in a customer service role, and then you say, oh, okay, well, they're intelligent. Usually when we're hiring, we're like, nah, you're most likely, you're better off looking for somebody who is a natural fit, somebody who has those skills, or whether it's naturally, or the most important thing is that when we measure you, we're able to see that you're already showing that you value those, you have those skills, or you value those traits before we now say, oh, we're hiring for customer service. So I'm using customers as an example, but just think of um, your life right now and the different areas where you have to deal with other people, whether it's church, whether it's school, whether it's at work, and see and just think at the people you have to work with. You know, when it's time to promote someone, what do you think that the leaders consider? What do you think the leaders consider? They don't just consider the hard skills who can do the job. That's not all they consider. They don't just consider the hard skills. Um, they don't just consider the hard skills who can do the job. They also consider, if you're going to make somebody a leader, you want to see, is this person good with people? Is this person patient? Does this person communicates with other people? You know, it's not just about technical skills. It's not going to be just technical skills. I mean, if somebody is deep, if other people find it difficult to work with someone, you're going to say, it's going to be difficult to promote this person to become their leader. They will not listen. It will just create a problem. You understand? So soft skills are that important. They are they are so important for the main reason that there is no success without there's no succeeding if you're not able to manage your relationships with people well. There's no succeeding if you're not able to manage your relationship with people well. Then the other skills that we talked about, critical thinking, problem solving, attitude, all those things, they are also very important. And depending on your what level you are in your career, they can make or break it. You know, they can make or break it. I mean, the higher up you go, the more you have to exercise these skills. I mean, as a leader, people are going to say, "Oh, sir, review this," or "Sir, this person said, this person this." Or, "Sir, you have to, you're going to be making more decisions," and so the demand is going to be placed on you, on your critical thinking skills, on your problem solving attitude. You know, but if at the level you're in right now, you're struggling with those things, when it's time to promote somebody out of your level to the next, your leaders are going to be checking. They're going to be checking to see, okay, if this person's soft skills are not up to par, there's no point promoting them to a leadership position, because a demand is going to be placed on them for these skills. So wherever we are now, one of the ways that we can prepare to qualify for the next promotion is to get to develop our soft skills too. We develop the hard skills, the right hard skills, in demand skills, that skills that are in demand, hard skills that are in demand. That's great. But I mean, even if you're an amazing graphics designer or web developer, but you are horrible with your clients, your clients have a very bad experience with you, they're not going to be referring you. They will not refer you. In fact, they will tell other people about you that he's good at his job, but he's just nasty, you know, and it's not good for business, it's not good for anything, you know. So people skills are so important. The people skills, because mainly soft skills are really about people. They're really about how we relate with people. They're all the other skills that come with it. And then for public speaking, I mean, see me right now. I'm doing something outside of my work, for instance, and I am speaking to you, and I'm, like I said, they are setting um, things I'm doing consciously, you know, to hopefully, hopefully help you make this training not to be boring, so you can follow and you can get what I'm saying. You know, so there's a skill to it, and you can learn it. You know, I learned it. Yes, I had a natural bent, natural strength growing as a child. Even as a child, I was pretty, confident, and I like talking. But because I noticed it, I started to pay attention. I started to get better at it, and I started to learn. So but you can, regardless of where you are right now, you can learn to do better. And I guess, like just like I said last week, It's about your attitude. Have this attitude that these skills are important. I can learn them. So the question is, how do I learn them? It's not this is how I am. It's not this is how I am and socially be. It's these skills are important. Oh yeah, I don't do so well in this and this, but how can I learn to do better? Because you can do better. I mean, if you want to be more successful, you cannot keep holding on to the person you are now to become the person you want to be. It will not work. If you want to be that person, you have to give up who you are now to become that person. Well, give up the parts of you who you are now that are not helping you to become that person. So it's a very, very important thing. So how to acquire master these soft skills? First, like I alluded to while talking previously, is that identify and acknowledge the areas where you need to improve. So it's like I said even last week, it's about having a growth mindset. The life success has always been about having a growth mindset and putting in the work to keep improving. It has always been about that. And even in our world, as things are changing so fast, it's even much more important. Successful people are more successful partly because they keep asking, how can I do better? How can I improve? And they ask that question and they get the answers and they act. But the average person is just going day by day, they're doing the same thing all the time. They're spending more time and energy entertaining themselves than they are educating themselves. And so they cannot produce the same kinds of results as the more successful people. So generally, that's how it's always been, and that's how it is right now. And so this is how to acquire and master these soft skills. Is first identify and acknowledge the areas where you need to improve. And like I also said last week, just be honest in your evaluation of yourself. Don't be honest in your evaluation of yourself. It's just where you are now, but you can improve. You can improve. You can improve. I mean, I was talking to a friend a few months ago, and I said there's this pastor in Nigeria, like he's one of the leading ministers of the gospel in Nigeria. And he's I mean, remember his story. He grew up in the village. Like he grew up in the village, but he kept improving on himself, improving on himself, improving on himself. And now he has a very big ministry, and they have all these organizations that they're also managing, and all these things they're also doing. In fact, in my opinion, he is like the president of it. He's like a president of a country, and the churches and the branches of his churches in different parts of the world are like embassies, because that's literally how he is. But you see, but he grew up in the village. But he did not just, he kept improving, reading, learning, doing better. Oh, what can I do better? Oh, what can I learn to do better? How can I speak better? How can I write better? How can I do better? How can I just that desire to improve has brought him to where he is now. And like I said, that's how it's always been about success. You want to be successful. And then the second thing is take online courses and practice what you learn. So I use online courses because, well, I mean, right now, a lot of the learning that we do right now, we'll do going forward in the future, will be online. So I just use online courses, but you can read books, you can just go in search of the knowledge that you need. Go in search of the knowledge you need. I mean, when I was preparing my slides, I didn't remember to add some of the books that I would like to recommend. So, like some books I would like to recommend in terms of developing your soft skills, practical ways to develop soft skills. Number one, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It is the number one. That book is a best-selling book for a reason. It's a small book, handy book, but really, really, really rich. It has practical examples, practical insights on how to win people over, how to be better at relating with people, and be able to influence them to your way of thinking. Because successful people, that's what they do. They're able to win more people to their way of thinking, to win more people to their ideas, win more people to the things that they want to do, So How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. There's also Winning with People by John C. Maxwell. So Justin Maxwell has Winning with People, and Dale Carnegie is How to Win Friends and Influence People. So those are the two that come to mind right now. I think it's the third one. If I remember it, I will mention. But definitely, if you only want to get one, get How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a good book for just learning and stuff, learning how to deal with people. And then the third is consider taking up volunteering opportunities and or joining clubs that encourage you to develop these skills. I mean, what came to mind when I added this to my slide was, for instance, public speaking. Like I said, everybody has a natural aptitude. Some people are naturally better at speaking in front of audiences and other people, but it is an important soft skill to develop. So whichever side of this, whatever end of the spectrum you fall into, whether you're the absolutely shy person that's totally frightened when you stand in front of people, or you're pretty good and you're pretty confident, and if CNN should ask you to come over to the station today, you're going to show up and you're going to just like do everything without even bothering, that's great. Whatever side of it, if you want to get better at public speaking, for instance, one club that is good to join is Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International is an amazing club. It's an international club. They have clubs all over the world. So usually how you join a Toastmasters club, you just do a Google search for Toastmasters club in my city. Just put Toastmasters club in Cyprus, Toastmasters club in Nicosia, Toastmasters club in, wherever. And if there's a Toastmasters club there, it will pop up. And now with COVID, a lot of Toastmasters clubs are holding meetings online. But Toastmasters is an amazing club to join. I was a member for a while and then I left, but it's an amazing club. And I used to think to myself that if I moved to a new country, for instance, like I relocated out of Nigeria, one of the things that I would do to quickly integrate into my community would be to join a Toastmasters club. Because kinds of people who join Toastmasters club are people who are very intentional about their personal and professional development. They want to be better speakers, most likely because they want to be better leaders. And a lot of them are entrepreneurial also. So those are the kinds of people that are forward thinking and the kinds of people you want to have around. So I just think to myself that if I have any reason to move, one of the first few things I would do to just integrate very well, to meet more people, and so I will break away from my natural tendencies to just lock myself in my house, because I understand the value of cultivating the right relationship to join a Toastmasters club, and then continue my Toastmasters journey from where I stopped. But it's an amazing club to join for those of us that really interested in getting better at public speaking. So volunteering also volunteering gives us. I mean, I am I am a voluntary advocate. Like I am always advocating that people should be willing to volunteer. What we do in church when we serve, to a certain extent, is volunteering. But I will always say that if you offer to work or help be a part of a team to do something, give it your best. Don't say, oh, I want to join the workforce, and then your leaders are running after you. You don't pull your weight. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's irresponsible. And just be honest with you. And a lot of people say, oh, I'd like to volunteer, but then they join the person, oh, come and volunteer, and then they start assigning work to them, and then they're not willing to do the work. Like I've volunteered. Trust me, I have been volunteering since for years. Like I've been, if it's not church, there's church volunteering on one side, and there's volunteering for people who are doing one thing or another that I really admire or want to do, or organizations that are taking volunteers. And I have noticed the same thing. You see people who say, oh, I'd like to volunteer. And then when it's time for you to do the work, you start looking for your volunteers. Do not be that kind of volunteer. And when you volunteer and then you make a contribution, you give it your best, you get better at, you are going to forge better relationships. You're going to forge relationships with like-minded people. Because people who are even willing to say, you know what, I want to help build someone else's dream. I want to help this person um, um, execute this thing that they want to execute. The kinds of people who think that way, there are people who are forward thinking, people who are entrepreneurial, people who are um, they know how to take the initiative and do big things. So they're the kinds of people you should, if you want to be successful in your personal and professional life, they're the kinds of, those are the kind of qualities you should look out for in people you want to spend time with. So when you volunteer to do something, whatever you're doing for the person you're volunteering for or the organization you're volunteering with, you're going to get better because practice makes better. So if you volunteer to take pictures, volunteer to usher, volunteer to tweet, be part of the social media team, volunteer to whatever it is that you're volunteering to do for them, you're going to get better at it. But then there's also the relationship you forge with your fellow volunteers. And then there's all the relationship you forge with the person who you volunteer to help, that more successful person or that established organization. Those relationships are just like, now I don't have the time right now to tell you how volunteering has helped me, to whether it be in terms of forging relationships with more successful people or learning things that when it came time for me to do my own, I was able to do it because I had seen a more successful person do it. And I saw them do it up close because I had volunteered to help them. So volunteering is like, I'm always advocating it but even hard skills. For instance, if you're in school right now, but you're learning a hard skill that is not tied to your degree or something. And one way to get the experience you need for free before you start to even charge other people to pay, charge people to pay you, is volunteering. You can volunteer to do it for several people and then get testimonials from the people you volunteered to do it for. And then you can now use those testimonials to say, oh, I did this for this person, this person, this person, and these were the results. So now I'm charging so amount to come and pay me, and I'll do it for you. So volunteering gives you that opportunity. So yeah, that's the end. How to acquire and master these skills. And next Monday, we're going to talk about how to build your personal brand. What's on the flyers? Golden nuggets for personal branding. But I just put how to build your personal brand in a world that will penalize you. Oh, my spelling is wrong, I guess. Sorry. That will penalize you if you don't. Like, honestly, we all need to take building our personal brands seriously. Because if you don't, it's the world we live in will penalize you for it. And I will not talk about the penalty today. I will talk about it next week. So yeah, that's the end of my my teaching for today. Thank you very much. So if you have any question, I'm very, very ready to take them. Mr. Peter. Hello. I hope I haven't left myself.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, so I'm done. I am ready to take questions.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My
Having
my laptop was just rolling, hanging. I don't know. Okay. Yep. So thank you very much, Ms. Ifeoma. I don't know if we have questions from the house. I believe we should have questions from all that we learned today. Okay. So if you have a question, you can just probably you could just unmute yourself, your device, and you could just talk, or you better still you could raise up your hand on the on the participant or send a message. Okay, maybe I should just kickstart then. Okay, while we wait for um, questions. Okay, I have two questions. Okay, you mentioned creativity as one of the soft skills.
yep.
Okay, some people argue that creativity is innate, that it's actually an inherent ability. some people are not actually creative. That's what some people argue anyway. Now, how do we? Okay, probably an individual has discovered that he or she is not creative. Okay, how do we become creative? Do we need to reconfigure our brains or what? How do we actually create aptitude, in the field of creativity? Okay, that's do I just take both together or do I take one after the other? Okay, let me take the second one.
Okay, please take the phone.
Okay, now some people feel that because you mentioned networking as a soft skill,
Yeah.
some people are actually they've built a wall around themselves. They feel that being too friendly will make them vulnerable. Okay, so they try to be stern and unnecessarily harsh. Okay, just to protect themselves. So how do we strike a balance here? How do we strike a balance between being friendly and also being disciplined? Okay, so that we won't be taken advantage of.
Okay, so first question, creativity is not innate. Some people, yes, some people have a, like just like every other skill. I mean, how many skills? Some people were born and they're almost from birth, they are very good at singing. And some of us are average, or some people cannot sing to save their lives. So they're singing. But, one time I remember back years ago, I was this vocal coach on YouTube, and he was like, to be honest, anybody can learn to sing. It's just that if you don't have that natural ability, it will take you longer. But if you have the right training, you will get to the point where you can equally sing. And because he's a professional, I believe him, because this is somebody that is a vocal coach for some of the top stars in the US, whether it's gospel singers or even secular musicians. And so he was the first person I ever heard say it, and I believed him. And because this is somebody who will teach you vocal techniques. When he hears you singing, he's going to tell you what exercises to do, what to do. He's a professional. He will hear you singing and know, oh, this is what you're doing, your breath control is this is that. Okay, do these exercises first, then do this one, do that one. And and even when I used to take those exercises, I got better. I just that singing is not part of the main ministry, so I abandoned it. But the point is, creativity is like those firstly every other skill. So people are, yes, born with a natural attitude at it, but we can all get better. We can all get better. And how to get better is by acting, doing, learning, doing, learning, doing. Even if you are a natural born singer and you stop singing, your vocal cords will just, like, you will not be as good as if you keep at it. Do you understand? We get better with doing. A lot of people who claim that they are not creative, where even the ideas they have, a lot of them, they don't even bother to act on it because they feel, oh, when I do it, it's not as beautiful as this other person's own. When I do it, it's not as nice as this other person's own. But you get better with doing. You get better with doing. I'll go to you. In fact, we're talking about creativity. So I mentioned I want to write a second book. At this time, because my first book, I had a lot of professional help to do certain things. And this time around, I said, you know what, I want to do practically everything on my own so that I can teach people who cannot afford to do, who cannot afford professionals to help them do these things so that they can be able to do everything on their own. And so when I got the idea for the book, I went online and I checked. And I found out that there is a best-selling book that has a similar title. Do you understand? But I said, you know what, I'm going to stick to the title I have anyway. But my subtitle is completely is mine. Like the idea came to my head, and I did not even know that somebody had a book like that. And then I had the subtitle, and I followed through. But this is where I'm going. So when I said, okay, I'm going to design the book cover on my own, I was just researching, I was just checking. And while I was looking through book covers that people had done, I came across someone else's book cover that looked really nice. Do you understand? And I was like, oh, I like this book cover. Now, I am not a graphics designer. I have, over the years, in trying to build my personal brand and do all things I do online, I have had to learn how to use Canva to design things and do stuff, So and the truth, like I said, yeah, when I was growing up, I used to draw, but I was not that artistic to the point where I was always painting. But the truth is, the more I used Canva, the better I got. The better I got, the more I use the app and just testing and trying different things, the better I got at it. And so, but where I'm going to is that when I decided, oh, I want a book cover, I saw someone else's book cover. I was like, oh, I like the way this book cover is. How will I do my own now? And just using that person's own as a concept and doing some additional research on my own, I came up with something that I think is nice. Now, will everybody like it? No. But that is an original, that book cover, the book cover I'm coming up with, or I have come up with in my mind, I've done a little mock-up of it or stuff, is me flexing my creative muscle. If I just say, oh, I'm not a natural painter, or I'm not naturally creative, just give myself that excuse. I would not even give my brain a chance to put ideas together and even see what it looks like. So like I said last week, I said again, throw away those excuses. I'm not this, I'm not that. The question is this skill important? If it is a skill that is important for you to acquire, the next question is, how can I get better? And thank God for the internet. If you go online and say, how do I get better? How do I become more creative? You will find blog posts, YouTube videos, all kinds of things that will tell you how to get better at, as in become more creative. So don't hold on to those kinds of that kind of mindset. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. The question is this skill important? Do you need to get better at this thing for you to advance in your personal professional life? If the answer is yes, the next question is, how do I get better? When you do a search online, you will definitely find answers. And when you find those answers, start to apply the ones that you can where you are, and you will get better. So same thing with what's the second question is people who have built a wall around themselves. Please, how many successful people do you see that don't have it? They are not influencing plenty people. Please, how many successful people do you know that they are successful, but they are not influencing plenty people? Do you know anybody like that? Do you know, are there many people like that? Mr. Peter?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
So, see, it's not easy to work with people. Even Jesus, our Lord and Master, his problem came from people. Today, they say is the what they say, they put their clothes on the road that the ass should pass. The next day, they say crucify him. Human beings are human beings. But you can, that's why I recommended this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. You see, people's skills can be learned. If you go online and search for books, audio courses, you will find them. So but if you're just saying because you're afraid of people hurting you, you want to just remain that way, it will not work. It will not work. You're going to be limiting yourself. Like I said, even with regards to creativity, the question is this skill important? Being good at interacting with people, cultivating relationships, initiating conversation, and maintaining relationships is an important skill. The question you should now be asking is, how do I get better at networking? And if you do a Google search, you will find out. In fact, Brian Tracy has this awesome a course that I haven't taken it, but somebody I respect has taken it, and I have it on my to-do list to pay for it, which is Power Networking by Brian Tracy. Now, if you know Brian Tracy, you should know that course is going to be tight. So, but you may not even need to pay. You don't even need to pay for another course. I'm sure if you do a Google search now, how to get better at networking, how to get better at initiating relationships, you will find what you need. But there's no guarantee that people will not hurt you. People are going to be people. But as you study these materials, you will see practical ways, to manage people. And even when you're practicing, like, how do I put it now? Even as a mature person, the more you interact with people, the more you can tell, talk less, listen more. Once somebody's body language has changed, change the subject or don't push. There are things that you will intuitively, you will just begin to learn these things. But all in all, what I'm saying is, if you are like a naturally shy person, or because people have hurt you repeatedly, you have you decided to hide somewhere. It's not a helpful, it's not helpful. I mean, if you work in my organization, I'm your boss, and within your peers, you are always shrinking. People that have people that are more assertive are able to push you around. When I want to promote somebody, I'm most likely going to promote the more assertive person, especially if you and the more assertive person have the same um, at par technical skills, but that person is more assertive. That person is able to win, get the attention of you guys, of your group. I want to promote that person because that's what leadership is about. So you cannot be the person that is always shying away, hiding. Oh, I don't want them to talk about me. I don't want them to gossip about me. I don't want them. Our Lord and Savior, as wonderful as He is, people don't like Him. The devil and the demons and the people that want to listen to them, they don't like Jesus, and they are Jesus did not say I will stop talking so that hopefully these people will like me. So it's I hope I answered the question though.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Someone typed out something here. Okay, but before that, someone asked how he can develop his digital marketing skill. Okay, that was his question. Then we have another one. We have in the sphere of communication, some take too long to respond to emails, text, or don't respond at all. And the excuse they give is, I was busy, I forgot, I didn't see the text, which can really be genuine reasons, but go a long way to cause a breakdown in communication. How does one deal with such a habit?
Okay, so for the digital marketing one, digital marketing is a hard skill. And for digital marketing, it's like every other skill. Go online, take an online course, and then offer that service for free to a few people. When you get the right results, or do it for yourself, use the digital marketing skills you've gotten to promote your own ideas or your own products and services. And when you get results, you can use those results as, forgive me, you can use those results as proof, to tell other people that, you know what, I did I know how to do this thing. See the results I got from the things that I know. Come and pay me to do it for you too. So that's it. It's a hard skill. Take online courses, and there's so many online courses. There are free online courses on digital marketing. There are paid online courses. It's for you to learn and apply. Learn, apply, and usually application will be using your own self or doing it for some businesses that friends and family businesses that the businesses of friends and family, a few of them, and then by the time you get the kinds of results that you want to be able to beat your chest and tell others that you can get for them, when you have 5 to 10 of those kinds of results, you can now say, you know what, I'm a digital marketer. These are the kinds of results I get from my customers. This is how much I'll charge you if you want me to work to help you get the same results. So that's the answer we give for the digital marketing person. For the what's the second question again?
Okay, the
Remind me.
person, yeah, the person actually.
Oh, text messages and okay. So you know what? The truth of the matter is, everybody makes out time for the things that are important to them. Everybody makes out time for the things that are important to them. That's one. Two, depending on the relationship we have with this person, you are the one who would choose whether or not you want to continue that relationship with somebody who has that kind of an attitude or not. You get, depending on the nature of your relationship with the person. So for instance, I mean, I too, like, there's a time for everything. So I'm not, I have periods when I'm not paying attention to my phone or anything. But like I said, everybody makes out time for things that are important. So for the things that are truly important, when it's time, I look at my WhatsApp messages and I reply. I look at my text messages and I reply. Yeah, sometimes I forget, but like I said, the nature of your relationship with this person that is doing this thing repeatedly will now determine if it is you that now needs to make a decision. You cannot force somebody to change. I mean, if it's your employee and they keep giving you that kind of excuse, it's up to you to know whether you want to give them a query or whatever. I don't know. If it's a romantic relationship, and they are saying they're always busy. Can you guys not agree on a time when you make up time for each other? I mean, if they're just friends and they're always busy, maybe it's time for maybe they not your friendship cannot continue if you guys are not communicating much. So maybe it's time for you to move on and strengthen your relationship with other people that have your time. Or I mean, as I said, it depends on the nature of your relationships with these people, but you can't force. If somebody says they're busy, you cannot. It's up to you. Do you want to continue your relationship with them? I mean, I have um, this somebody that I want to work with in the future, and she doesn't do WhatsApp. She doesn't do WhatsApp. She doesn't. You may send her a text and she will not reply. But because I understand that I haven't even made that much of an investment in this person's life to be demanding that they always respond to my messages, I don't take it to heart. She's a busy person, she's building her business, it's fine. And I understand that we all make our time for what's important. So I strongly believe that if I when I get into her life, like pay for her online course and really make a positive contribution in her life, I will join the league of the people that even though she will not answer people's calls, she will answer my own. Do you understand? So it's life, but I would say be upset with everybody. Is you are the one who will have to decide what is the nature of your relationship with all these people, and do you want to continue with their relationship the way that it is? Do you even have a right to demand what you are demanding? I mean, some of us are making a demand. Some people are actually really busy. I mean, if, let's say you have a friend that is now the SA to the vice president. Well, what can we do? The person is the SA to the vice president, or the SA to somebody in power, and they're really busy right now. Things have changed for them. So do you want to still keep being their friend and be patient enough for the times with them? Or do you feel like, okay, maybe this relationship at this point cannot continue, I have to move on? So it's not, there's no one size fits all. You're the one who needs to decide. Is it a romantic relationship? What are you? Can you guys we should have a conversation about it. There's no, because a relationship cannot work if people are not making out time to communicate. And so someone's always busy. There's always a time that you're not so busy. That's just the truth. There's a time where you're not so busy. So why can't we work to have our conversations around that time? So there's no one size fits all answer for it. But you're the only one who can assess like the nature of your relationship by time and know whether and have a conversation if it's possible, or just decide whether or not you want to be patient with this person, or you too want to move on with your life and spend your time reaching out to people who will have time for you too.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ifeoma. Thanks a lot for this detailed teaching on soft skills. I believe it will make us better. I'm very convinced, about that. We really appreciate this time.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I want to hand over now to Pastor Desire. PD, sir.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Ifeoma. Sorry, I did not
Good evening, sir.
entry at the beginning.
Oh, no.
We tried to fix what's his name, Zoom, to make sure that we have the full stretch. We had to do the payments, but anyways, thanks for the lecture. I was always online listening. I just wanted to also respond to the question that was asked, in the sense that let me just go back to the question. From the question, it says, in a sphere of communication, some take too long to respond to email and text, or don't respond at all. And the excuse they give is, I was busy, I forgot, I didn't see the text, which can really be genuine reasons, but go a long way to cause breakdown in communication. How do you deal? I'm going to give you as a person, I'm just going to answer the person from practical example. You see, I don't know want to claim to be busy, but if you send me a message and I didn't respond, truly and honestly, I might be busy for that period and time. But what I will advise is you send a reminder. And if I see a reminder, definitely I'm going to respond to it and I'm going to go to the other one. But sometimes, instead of going straight to the point, some people spend time beating around the bush before giving question they want to ask. And before then, you already lost interest in the question. So there are different relationships. They require different approaches to
yes.
life. So if you're asking somebody that you know that is very busy, just go straight to the point. Good morning, sir. This and short, there's no need. Don't ask me how my family is fine. I know this is not the relationship that says family. Let's go straight to the business that you are calling for. So that's my own contribution. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ifeoma. We'll see you on Monday. So Monday is the final for Miss Ifeoma. And I wish we could keep having this kind of conversation and this kind of teaching. If time will permit us, I know you're busy also. We'll call you again. We'll grab you. I will send my will I say spy to go and check your calendar and see when it's free. I'll grab you again. Thank you very much, and thank to everyone that attended our meeting. Also, please, everyone that is in attendance, please send me a message so that I send you a link with regards to our Friday meeting, the one we did last Friday. So send us a link. But I need us to send me a message so I know those who are very much around. Thank Ms. Ifeoma. God bless you, really good.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for if we do this and it's just me, Ms. Ifeoma, and maybe Mr. Peter that is around, well, we'll share information and share ideas. We won't have blessed a good amount of persons. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for learning and relearning and unlearning. God bless us real good. Mr. Ifeoma, thank you. We'll see you again next week, Monday. Do have a lovely week ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. You too.
Let everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, good night.
Bye.